Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. My name is Crown, and today I'm going to read you some very interesting stories that I hope that you're gonna love. And now, without further ado, let's go! I was telling this story to a friend of mine the other day and was told I should post this here. I'm a former police officer who had to retire due to being badly injured, but this was one of my last calls before the incident that forced me into retirement. I worked for a small-town police department with only 5 or 6 officers on duty at a given time. We each covered a vast swath of land. My beat mainly was a rural area and county highway that passes throughout the little town. One clear sunny afternoon, I am doing speed enforcement on a highway when my radio crackles to life with a possible kidnapping in process. The dispatcher proceeds to provide the details of the make and model of the car, including a female driver with short blonde hair. I proceed to get onto my computer to see if there are any more details given about this, and sure enough, there is in the call log. It provides even more details, saying the reporting party reports that it's a young kid sitting in the hatchback part of the vehicle with a sign that says, "Help, I've been kidnapped, call 911." And their hands appear to be tied together. While the call is within our jurisdiction, they are nowhere near me. So there is nothing I can do at that moment besides alerting other officers and sheriff deputies who are already looking for the vehicle. All is quiet for the next 10 minutes, everybody is behaving themselves and driving the speed limit when my radio crackles to life again. We're getting another call regarding the reported kidnapping. They are now traveling south on County Highway 123, and my ears perk up. And my heart starts to race as a vehicle is coming in my direction and will be here any minute. As I'm waiting for the call dispatch, we get 3 more calls from fellow drivers who have seen this young kid holding up the "Help, I've been kidnapped" sign and had called 911 to report it. With this stretch of highway being very flat, I'm able to see cars miles and miles away, especially if I'm using binoculars. Sure enough, here comes a van. And as it passes me, I can see the female driver who matches the description given by the RPs and the kid sitting up against the sidewall in the hatchback area. I don't pull out right away just in case this is a real kidnapping. I don't want to spook the driver and get into a high-speed chase. Not to mention, I am completely alone, and in this type of situation, you want to have a decent amount of backup in case they decide to run, shoot out, or whatever. So, I wait until she's a good mile or 2 away, then I pull out and tail her from that distance until I can get some backup. Luckily, there is a highway patrol barracks not too far away, and they heard my call for assistance. Just as we passed the road that leads to the highway patrol barracks, I saw 4 trooper vehicles pull out behind me. So I fell back and let the troopers take the lead in case this turned into a chase. They'd already be in position. While we're getting into position to stop the van, we're talking about how we're going to approach the situation. Are we going to do a soft traffic stop or proceed as a regular traffic stop, just pulling the driver out of the vehicle? Or are we going to do a full felony stop? We decided to do a full felony stop. So we spread out across all 4 lanes of traffic and all turnout lights and play park sirens at the same time. The female doesn't pull over to the side of the highway in the breakdown lane, but instead slams on the brakes and stops in the middle of the highway. We all position our vehicles to give us a maximum amount of coverage in case of a gunfight, and then we get out with weapons drawn while ordering the female driver out of the vehicle. We should have known something was up when, as soon as she got out of the vehicle, she started screaming, "It was a joke!" But right now, we're not too interested in what she has to say. The point man keeps telling her to keep walking backward until we tell her to stop and then get down on the ground. She complies and she's cuffed. Next, we turned our attention to the female passenger, whom we didn't know at the time as we couldn't see her face. It turns out to be the female driver's 13-year-old daughter. We ordered her backward to get on the ground and cuffed her. We did this for the next 4 passengers who were riding in the 4 seats in the back of the van. Once we got all the perceived threats out of the vehicle and secured, 2 troopers went up to clear the vehicle while another trooper and myself rescued the young boy who was bawling from the hatchback. We put him in the back of one of our vehicles to get him away from his perceived kidnappers. The whole time, mind you, the driver and front female passengers kept yelling, "It's a joke! He's my son/brother! I can't believe you guys!" So after securing everybody in separate vehicles, we start to get to the bottom of the situation. The first person we talk to is a young boy who has since calmed down after the female trooper got him a stuffed dinosaur and a snack and began to ask him questions. This is when we learned the whole thing was a female driver's and her daughter's sick idea of a funny prank. Since the van was full and they decided to put the young kid in the hatchback, they thought it would be funny to make a sign saying "Help, I've been kidnapped," and have the young boy hold it up while someone else in the van recorded the reaction of other drivers after they read the sign. Apparently, they have been doing it all day and just didn't get caught until they reached our area. After talking to the other passengers, who were all under the age of 16, we learned it was mainly the idea of the mother and teen daughter. After some discussion with the county district attorney on how it should be handled, we were told to release the 4 teenagers in the back with no charges to write the teenage daughter the juvenile equivalent of a ticket for inducing panic, and last but not least, save the best for mom. I opened the back door of my vehicle so I could talk to the mom. As soon as I did, she started to get out of the vehicle when I told her to stay put. She said, "Why? Don't you need to take the handcuffs off me so I can sign the ticket you're going to give me, right?" I said, "It's not quite that simple, I'm afraid. You're in a bit more trouble than a simple ticket. You're going to be charged with several felonies." And this is when she lost it and started screaming over and over again. "It was a joke. I can't believe nobody can take a joke anymore. It was a joke. Now, uncuff me or I'm going to have my husband sue you for unlawful detention." I proceeded to read her Miranda warning. All the while, she started sobbing with no tears, I might add, while muttering, "It was a joke." After I finished with her Miranda warning, I asked her if she was willing to talk to me. She told me to get lost. I did just that and shut the door to let her wait for the transport vehicle. By this time, the husband and father had shown up at the scene to collect his kids and vehicle and was filled in on the situation. All he could do is shake his head and say, "This isn't the first time she's done stupid crap like this before. It's just the first time she's been caught. And I've warned her in the past not to do it because I know it would end up in a situation like this." After about 10 minutes, the transport van showed up and took her away, and I went back to a quiet afternoon of catching speeders. The female driver was charged with the following: 7 counts of inducing panic, all misdemeanors, 6 counts of felony child endangerment, 1 for each kid she had in the vehicle. Reason it was a felony is that her actions put her children's lives in danger by forcing us to do a felony stop over a prank or a joke. 1 count of having an unrestrained child. She decided to put her 6-year-old son in the hatchback of the van because they didn't have any room up front, while none of those kids should have been back there. I'd rather one of the older kids instead of the 6-year-old. The reason why? Because the other boys were too tall and wouldn't have been comfortable back there. You see, I'm a 30-year-old chick, a military vet, army, and a nursing student. I also pride myself on taking care of my vehicles, doing about 90% of the maintenance work on them. I may not have all the tools for everything, but I can handle most of the basics. Now let's dive into the story. It all started after I returned from a 6-month military mobilization, and my trusty Toyota SR5 truck had been sitting in dry storage for a while. I knew it needed some maintenance, so I got to work. I checked and replaced fan belts, air filters, spark plugs, oil and fuel filters, did an oil change, flushed the radiator, checked the battery and connections, and even swapped my winter tires for summer ones. Trust me, in a region where I lived, having the right seasonal survival gear in your truck is a priority. The last thing on my to-do list was to add injector treatment to the fuel tank, fill up the tank and take my truck for a tire balance. Oh, and did I mention I was dressed to the nines that day? Heels, dress slacks, silk blouse, a well-tailored jacket, and hair up in a bun. I was looking sharp. So I dropped off my truck, requested a tire balance. I was told it would take about an hour. Great, I had a few errands to run nearby, so I planned to be back later. But then something caught my eye through the big glass window they have at Le Schwab. I saw two guys pulling the tires off my truck, and another guy, the one who took my keys, was sitting in a driver's seat, scribbling notes on a little notepad. I decided to wait and see what was going on. After about 10 minutes, the guy with the notepad came back inside and he walked over to me and he explained that during his free assessment of my vehicle, he found a laundry list of safety issues that needed to be fixed. I asked him what he had found, genuinely curious. He went on to list a dozen things, all of which I had just checked or replaced. Fan belts, overdue oil change, radiator flush, worn out fuel and oil filters, shot brake pads, and an alignment that had ruined my tires. What baffled me was that he never even opened the hood of my truck. Most of the issues he had listed required looking under the hood. Then, he dropped the bomb, saying he couldn't release my truck to me because it was a big safety problem. I needed about $3,700 worth of work to make it even roadworthy again. He even added that it could cost more because my vehicle was technically an import and parts could be hard to find. I asked to speak with the manager, but surprise surprise, he was conveniently out for the day. So let me get this straight, unless I coughed up $3,700, they wouldn't return my truck, even though I was a rightful owner. He confirmed my suspicions, continuing with his fake apologies and explanations in a condescending tone. He also asked if there was someone I could consult about such a massive repair or if I needed a ride home. I requested a few minutes to think and walked out into the parking lot, making a call to the sheriff's department. I told the officer everything that had transpired and he promised to be there in 15 minutes to help me clear the matter up. I returned inside and delivered the news to the mechanic, all while wearing my sweetest smile. I also asked him for the list of the repairs and quote, claiming that my friend will be joining me shortly to discuss it. He happily handed over the list and signed his name, suggesting that I could get in contact with him if I needed more time to consider the repairs and costs. The cherry on top was that the absent manager walked in just in time to witness his employee being handcuffed. And to my delight, I received a free tire balance service to make up for the stunt the now former employee tried to pull. That was my story, and I couldn't help but share it with you guys, all because sometimes the best revenge is sweet and perfectly legal. Thanks for listening, and always trust your instincts when it comes to your vehicle. So, to set the scene, I'm a 35-year-old woman and I've been friends with my twin brothers, Alex and Adam, for as long as I can remember. We're practically inseparable, and it's pretty cool because we were all born just 3 days apart. Yep, we're that close. Now Alex, one of my twin brothers, is getting married soon to his lovely fiancée, Kelly, who's an amazing human being. We all adore her. And their wedding is set to take place a weekend before Halloween, but here is where things get a little tricky. Adam, my other twin brother, recently started dating a girl named Jordan. She's 28 and, well, let's just say she's a definition of spoiled. Jordan is an only child who's never heard the word no in her life, and she isn't afraid to show off her daddy's money. Now, I try to be patient with people, but this girl really knows how to push my buttons. Since Jordan entered the picture, she's been doing everything in her power to insert herself into Alex and Kelly's wedding. And not in a good way. You see, I'm currently 6 months pregnant with my third and final child. My two little ones are set to be the ring bearers, and my husband and I are both at the wedding party. It's a big, happy family affair. But Jordan has some ideas of her own. She's been whispering in Kelly's ear about how I should be replaced as a bridesmaid because I might ruin the aesthetic of the wedding. Seriously, folks? I mean, come on. Kelly, to her credit, has turned her down every single time. She understands the bond that has grown between us over the years, and we're practically family at this point. So, it's a big no from her. Now Kelly has been kind enough to keep me in the loop about Jordan's antics. She's even talked to both my brothers Alex and Adam about it. Alex, being the loyal fiancé he is, has sided with Kelly on this matter, but Adam, well, has been mostly stayed neutral, if not entirely avoiding the whole situation. Fast forward to last night when my husband and I had both couples over for a laid-back dinner. That's when things took a turn for the worse. Jordan, upon laying eyes on me, said that I looked like a beached whale. Ouch, right? Now I'm 6 months pregnant, so I'm not exactly small, but I usually wear a size 6 when I'm not expecting. I was seething. I decided to give her a piece of my mind. Let her know that my belly will go away eventually, but she'd still be stuck with her ugly personality. Harsh, I know, but I had reached my breaking point. And that's when I told her she had to leave my house. Jordan, of course, didn't take this too kindly. She resorted to name-calling and yelling before grabbing Adam by the arm and storming out. I told Adam he could stay if he wanted, but Jordan had some choice words for me, calling me a boyfriend-stealing witch. Now that doesn't even make sense, but I guess she was really angry. Now here is where I'm at. Today, Adam texted me saying that I took a low blow and that I needed to apologize for being a jerk to Jordan. But I don't feel like apologizing at all. And that's where I need your help, dear ITA community. Was I out of line for kicking Jordan out of my house? What would you have done in my shoes? Am I really the jerk in this situation? And now some comments on a post. Someone saying you're not the jerk. Why does it seem like Jordan is trying to replace you as her? That's not even a little bit okay. Tell Adam that you love him and you have to be happy with him and Jordan, but he needs to take a step back and look at the facts of the situation. Facts here are that Jordan is trying to replace you in the wedding and came to your house and did a very low blow insulting your pregnant body. So if she wants to give you a real genuine apology for trying to kick you out of the wedding, for overstepping into your friendship with Kelly and for insulting your body while a guest in your own home, then you'll consider apologizing to her for your comment. Until then, as far as you're concerned, the less you see her, the better. And while you know she's his partner, you suggest he try to mentally step back. Imagine that this wasn't someone he loved but just like two random people he knows. One tries to get the other kicked out of a wedding, and while a guest in that person's home insults their pregnant body. Who would he say is wrong there? It's a rhetorical question you don't want him to answer. Just think about it. Another commenter adds, not the jerk. Your description of her was spot on. Therefore, you did not hit below the belt. Now, if she had some physical flaw that you insulted, which you did not, then that would be below the belt. Most snotty people just can't handle having a mirror put in their face. I hope she doesn't last long. It's on her to apologize, not on you. Calling a pregnant woman a beached whale? I kinda wonder what she expected to happen. Also, I kinda wonder if Adam has a thing for you. It might give some more context to her boyfriend stealing comment and also why she might be being so horrible to you. What she did was unacceptable no matter the reason. But just curious if that might be the case. Not the jerk.
And now we have reached the end of today's stories. Thank you for watching and see you next time.